fired bullets as well as discharged casings. We attend autopsies, we destroy weapons, and we do functionality of weapon certifications.
How many troopers are assigned to your unit statewide?
There's a total of 18 of us assigned statewide.
And what are your responsibilities as the detective lieutenant in charge?
So I look at training, make sure we're up to accreditation standards for lab protocols, making sure all of our protocols are in line with the current definitions of mass general laws.
What's up? Come on in.
Different aspects of how we respond to scenes, how we collect evidence, how we interpret evidence, looking at the definitions of firearms, ammunition, semi-automatic pistols, rifles, shotguns, assault weapons, different stuff like that. It's more of a managerial role. We're looking at making sure everybody has the training that is required amongst them and authorizing them to do the casework when they have achieved all of their training.
And fair to say that you still, from time to time, respond to scenes yourself?
Yes. So as of right now, we're down a few supervisors. So I took on the role of going to these more high-profile scenes to observe my other ballisticians, collect evidence, as well as do some of the hands-on work myself.
Can you briefly summarize some of the specialized training you've received over the years with respect to firearms?
Sure. So when you go into the firearms identification, it's a 2-year apprenticeship program. You work with other senior ballisticians. You're looking at casework, seeing how to do the casework, making sure it aligns with the protocols that we have documented. You're doing test fires of weapons, numerous weapons, analyzing ammunition, magazines. You go into armors courses, you go into different conferences to look at the field of tool marks and seeing how these tools are making these markings and how they're transferring over to these.
I'm trying this, although I don't know how it's going to work out.
So it's an ongoing.
I'm trying all of them at the same time.
It's training from other examiners, see what they've discovered in the field, and make sure up to date with all.
Dana.
And the armors courses that you've gone to, have you gone to?
Okay, I'm going to mute this so I can in this trial what's going on and all the whatnots and say hello to you. That's what I'm going to do first. Why am I round? There we go. Okay. Woody doggy. I need actually more than one monitor to really pull this off. But we're going to try it. Hello there on TikTok. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody on TikTok. Come on in. We are back to our regular show. I'm live everywhere. I'm live here, YouTube, and Facebook. I thought I'd try and see if I can handle it. So I'm watching comments everywhere. You did? Thank you. I'll have to check it out. Good morning, Becca. Becca's over here on the Big YT. Hi. Hello, my loves. Come on in on YouTube. I mean, TikTok, excuse me. Now I don't even know where I am. I'm still sick. Please forgive me for that. Isn't it gorge? They're talking about the background on TikTok. Isn't it? Oh my gosh, I wish I was really there. Thank you, Amy. I'm still congested, though my nose isn't running and I can speak without, I can't laugh. You'll hear me like, but yeah, we are working on it. Thank you for your heart, means my love. When you come in, if you like true crime, send a heart if you can. Oh, Becca sent a super sticker on the Big White Tea. Thank you, Becca. I know I do sound better than I did yesterday. It's day by day, week by week. Oh my goodness, 55 souls over on the big TT. And what do we have on? You have to be patient with me. This is my first time running it all. So I have to get used to toggling, I guess. But you guys can still see me, right? So I have the biggest part of TikTok Studio lowered right now, minimized. But you can still see me on TikTok, right? Just testing a few things. Because if that's the case, then I can leave that minimized so I can run these other ones better. Because I know what I look like. Thank you, Danielle. 58 souls. When you come in, send me your heart me if you can. Tapping is clapping. It's all about tapping. It's all about clapping. It's all about sharing and coming together. Megan, thank you. If somebody can tell Discord that I'm live, thank you for your heart me. Thank you. Tanya, bless mama, Becky, tatted up Jeep, Catherine. The Catherine just come in. Thank you guys for coming in and believing in me this morning. I'm going to give you a challenge to get 500 souls in here. 500 different souls. I know that there are 500 souls on this app that love true crime, who don't want anything to do with drama or nonsense or lies, for people that just have it out for me. A real true crime show. That's where I want to get. I don't want to deal with none of that other stuff ever. I just want to do true crime. Welcome in, not your cup of tea. Welcome in, Tammy. Thank you for sharing. This is a challenge, and we used to do this like so easy. So I believe in you again. Thank you for the Korg. Thank you for the Korg, Becca. Thank you. Well, Becca's super stickering over here and Korging over there. I really appreciate everything that you guys do for me. I'm gonna tell you something. There's a trial that I want to cover. It's day 2. Okay. I remember when this sort of a little bit remember when this happened. So I want to refresh our memories on this and kind of follow this trial. It's because it's day 2. I don't know if you guys remember Kelsey Fitz Simmons, the copper shooting. How many do? Oh, Dewey's in here. Dewey, hi. I can't holler out, but hi. Thank you for your heart meme. Thank you so much. Trees in the house. Oh my goodness. I am just loved today. Thank you for the confetti tree. Thank you for the donut. Thank you, Becca. Thank you so much. You are confused about the story? Well, I remember it sort of, but I need to refresh myself on the story. So I guess we'll refresh each other as we go along for today. Throw down. Courtney's in the house. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I want to tell you something. I want a tattoo. Okay. I've got the final one drawn right here. I know what I want right here. Which is a flower with a hummingbird. That's my mom. And then hummingbird above it, which is me, because I look after my mom. And then a hummingbird under it, because now I have to look after my little sister, right, who is in her 30s, but still my little sister. So so I want that. But the other tattoo that I've decided, and I don't know exactly where, I think I want it like running, maybe like right along here, because I saw this morning and I've not heard of this, but I want to talk about it and I want to be really open. Okay. There's 87 souls in here. Because I want to be very, 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 very clear about something. And then we're going to go on to true crime. Excuse me. Gail. Danielle, welcome in. Justice Talks with Julia is in the house. Okay, so the other one that I've seen is it's called, and I've already ordered the sticker for my car and the shirt, but it's called Stay Another Day. How many in here have heard of Stay Another Day and know what that means? Catcher. Good morning, Tina, on Facebook. A lot of you. Okay. Okay. So I've decided the other tattoo I want is that saying, stay another day, with the continuance semicolon that they make. So I can't tell you how many times that I have told myself that without knowing that I've told myself that. I haven't heard that phrase until today, this morning, when I was scrolling TikTok. And I have to say, that is my anthem. Just stay one more day and see what happens. Because with all of this bullying and stuff and all of the lies, I've not been able to focus on the thing that I'm passionate about, which is this, the thing that gives me purpose, which is this, the things that make me happy, which are you. And it sent me into a deep depression that I'm still trying to get out of. I'm better. I'm here. And if you ever think that someone doesn't think about that, especially after having tried it and survived it and wondering why you survived it, thank you for the hand heart tree. How many times did I think about it during the last month and a half? Plenty of times. Plenty. But we're here today. So guess what? I stayed another day. Folks, today we're going to talk about Kelsey Fitz Simmons trial. I've got Chat GPT up to try to explain to me and remind me about this trial. Actually, I think I'm going to go use Google AI. What's up, Hannah? Holly? Ruth, I'm tagging along there. I'm not 100%. I'm very congested. Anyway, we're working through it. Okay. You all did not wake up this morning and say, I bet Stephanie's going to wheeze into the mic. I bet you didn't say that. But guess what happened? What's up, Nana? Welcome in. Welcome in. No, that's my lungs, Hannah. Welcome to pulmonary sarcoidosis. Interesting. Sorry, just reading a few text messages. Good morning. 6 days in January with pneumonia. I had double pneumonia once for 3 months straight. They couldn't even do a lung biopsy on me because I was too sick. Imagine having that for 3 months straight. It was horrible. Okay. So we're going to talk about Kelsey Fitzsimmons is a former North Andover police officer currently standing trial right now. Today's the second day. The case stems from June the 30th, 2025, an incident where she was pew-pewed in the chest by a fellow officer during a confrontation at her home. So over on, where am I at? Studio. Let me get you some pictures here so we can understand. Cop on cop is what it's saying. Hi, Michelle. Michelle says it's in her state. Okay. There she is. That's who's on trial right now. Okay. Back over here to where I was at. So here's what happened. 3 North Andover officers arrived at Fitzsimmons' home to serve her a restraining order filed by her then fiance, Justin Alalanian. I cannot say that. Alalanian. Filed by her fiance. Okay. We'll just call his name is Justin. That's easier to say. And to take custody of their 4-month-old son. So this is a domestic situation. What's up, Carol? Good to see you this morning. Officer Patrick Noan testified that Fitzsimmons pointed her service weapon at him and pulled the trigger, but the weapon failed to fire because a round was not chambered. He shot her after she allegedly attempted to rack the slide to chamber a round. So Patrick shoots then Fitzsimmons. Okay. Fitzsimmons and her legal team maintain that she never pointed the gun at the officers. They argue that she was suffering postpartum depression and intended to use the weapon to exit the earth of her own accord. She is facing a bench trial presided over Judge Jeffrey T. Karp after waiving her right to a jury. So this is a bench trial. So this means that the judge is going to make the decision. Her former fiance, Justin, testified that he feared for his son's safety prior to the shooting. The officer's testimony continued on Tuesday. She has been on house arrest since her release from the hospital, but was recently granted permission to move into her own apartment and begin seeking visitation with her son. So I'm confused here. She's on trial for pointing the weapon? And it failed. So she was then shot by the officer. So she's on trial for just holding up the weapon. Hey, Alabama. You're welcome. Hey, B. B, I ain't seen you in a hot minute. Is that what I understand? This whole case is strange. Why was she... Okay. So what's the charges? What's up, James? Yeah, I'm confused. Let's read about this. The primary charge is assault by means of a dangerous weapon. If convicted, she faces up to 5 years in state prison, but she has pled not guilty. While she currently faces one charge, the case originally included more severe allegations. They initially charged her with armed assault with intent to unalive, with 2 counts of assault and a dangerous weapon. But a grand jury in August 2025, 6 months ago, whatever that is, plus minus, rejected the intent of the slaughter charge, indicting her only on the single count of assault with a dangerous weapon. So this is up to the judge. I guess I'm asking, do you think she done it? She was finally able to see her son, but 8 months passed. 8 months. Do you think that she lifted that weapon in intention to do that? Thank you, Tina, over here. We have 7 souls watching over on Big YT, 138 souls watching here on the Big TT. She treated to take her own. It's the attempted. Kenzie says, no, she was in a mental crisis and she needed help. Mississippi Girl says, yes, I do. Hi, Anita. Anita's in here. Good to see you. Anita and B. Seeing some old friends come in here. Where have you been? Thank you. So I guess it's going to come down to what the judge is thinking. You know? She bent down and then came back up and aimed at him. Is there a body cam? Did he wear? I mean, obviously, he came down there for the call for the restraining order, I'm assuming. Jen on the Big YT, I see you. Lindsay says she wants to see the body cam. No body cam. Interesting. Sarah, Tina, Carol, DK, Mama Zilla, Miss Cheryl, Miss T, Mississippi Girl. Thank you guys all for your heart me. We have 136 souls in here. Keep tapping because tapping is clapping. I had a goal today to maybe get 500 souls in here. I don't know if it's possible now, but I would appreciate if maybe somebody hasn't watched True Crime before. You've been in a fibromyalgia flare. I have fibro. I know how that feels. I have to get some shots in my hips sometimes to help me move around and not be so painful when I sit down or touch things. Why would they let him even serve? Fireworks! Miss Cheryl said fireworks. Thank you, Miss Cheryl. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that so very much. Yay! That's so amazing. You guys are amazing. Excuse me. I'm trying not to cough it down. But that's what's happening right now. Thank you for the fireworks. Anita says no body cam equals suspicious. Abso-freaking-lutely. Today's live goal is 10 corgis. If you can send a corgi, it goes to support the platform and what I do here. If you can't, please tapping is clapping is sharing. You know what? We're going to make it through this, okay? I'm healed. I can't even talk. Here come hell or high water. That's what I meant to say. Well, I wonder, sometimes it's like, freaky frog, oh, freaky is in the house. I seen you come in. Hello. Thank you for the donut, gal. So it's going to come down to what the judge believes. That's what I had over here to watch. I think the court is not there right now. All we're looking at right now is carpet. That's all we're looking at right now. So I guess they must have went to lunch or something. No, you ain't inbox. Excuse me. I can't even speak. Not all cameras. Yeah. Taking a 5-minute break. Okay. So that's where we're at. And I don't know if you are interested in watching this or not. You let me know. We can pick something else. I just thought it would be interesting to see. I thought it was an actual unaliving, though I was unaware it was just an attempted. Not that that's any less, but so let me know if you want to watch it or not, or we can talk about something else. Or if you have something you want me to go look at, please let me know. Ashley Banfield done a new show last night, by the way. I haven't watched it at all, but I think it's about Nancy. Nancy says, I do. Michelle says, I've enjoyed watching. Okay, we will. We can keep on it. That's no problem with me. Thank you for your heart, me freaky frog. It does? Like the whole inside? Or pictures, Mama, look. I would like to see the inside of her house. Sean 6. I've never heard of that one. I wrote it down. Thank you for the rose. No justices indicted, but a look inside. Okay. Well, I mean, while the Kelsey Fitz Simmons trial is just kind of sitting around there not doing anything, we can go take a look. Pics. Oh, Pics. Pics is fine with me. On Ashley's then. Yeah, here it is.
It's free, it's easy, it's fun, and you do me a solid if you subscribe. Thank you so much. It's day 50 effing 1.
We're
of the
watching
Nancy
this
Guthrie
on the
case. I have some breaking news. I've spoken to a couple of my sources. I think I've told you a few times now that I've got a lot of friends in the FBI, local police, border patrol, sheriff's departments all around the country, and a couple of really solid sources in this Arizona story. And so canvassing a few of my sources, I have discovered something new in this case that is starting to make a lot of sense.
How many people have already seen this?
The Guthrie family has told the local investigators who are working Nancy Guthrie's missing persons case that Nancy Guthrie frequently left her back doors open, unlocked, which now would make a lot more sense as to how this guy got in so easily, right? It's upsetting to know that, but it's helpful information for the police. You're going to find out why that changes the way you might look at a case, how you might investigate a bad guy, a source, or a suspect. It's interesting when you look at the possibilities of doors regularly being left open. The dynamic can actually change and the offender profile can actually change. I'm digging into that in this episode, but I'm also doing something in this episode that I think will help you to understand Mrs. Guthrie's home, because looking at it from the outside, it's kind of tricky. And I have thought all along that this very pretty little blue door at the back of her home was likely the back door that was left open. That has all been turned up on its end based on my sources and them telling me about this issue about the Guthrie's kids, the Guthrie kids telling the police that their mom regularly left the back doors, plural, open. I have Gray Hughes from Gray Hughes Investigates, who's really good at doing 3D imaging, working his way around crime scenes and figuring out outsides and insides. And he was masterful during the Idaho murders case at 1122 King Road. And he is going to be so incredibly helpful in just a moment when he joins us to show you all of the different potential entry points to Nancy Guthrie's home. There are
11 souls on the big one.
5 different entry points. And in the back, lest you think that there were multiple doors, there were 2. And none of them were sliders.
We can go back.
So I'm going to walk you
trial.
all
If you guys
throughout the
want-
house and tell you what doors likely led into which rooms and show you
If you guys want to go back to the trial, when it comes back on, say the trial's back on and I'll switch. Okay.
why I think I know which door was the door that this perpetrator more than likely
I'm keeping
used
an eye on
to
it.
gain access to the house. A couple of other pieces, and that's coming in just a second. Gray's going to join me. And like I said, he's really good at he's way better at thingamajigging than I am. Like I'm really, really bad at popping up shared screens and moving things around. I basically, like I'm good with a microphone. That's about it, and hair. So I wanted to give you a couple of updates that happened if you weren't watching this weekend, or if you were way too busy on the member Q&A.
Rebecca.
There was wine. There was there was actually a martini as well beforehand, but it was a lot of fun that we had. But if you weren't paying a lot of attention to the news, I can get you caught up on a few things. Savannah Guthrie and the Guthrie family released a statement very early to NBC and to KVOA. That's Savannah's former TV station in Tucson, where she started. And then a day later, they released it to the public. So I wanted to tell you, there's something really significant in this statement. 2 things, in fact, that just popped sort of right off the screen at me. I'm going to read it and you see if
I'm
you
gonna
can
take
tell right
notes.
away
She
what
always
those 2
does a
things
good
are.
job.
Don't worry, because I'll tell you what they are later. It says, quote, "We are deeply grateful for the outpouring from neighbors, friends, and the people of Tucson. We are all family now. We continue to believe it is Tucsonans and the greater Arizona community that hold the key to finding resolution in this case. Someone knows something. It's possible a member of this community has information that they do
Thank you
not
for
even
following the
realize
Guthrie part.
is significant. We hope people search their memories, especially around the key timelines of January 31st and the early morning hours of February 1st, as well as the late evening of January 11th. We desperately ask this community for renewed attention to our mom's case. Please consult camera footage, journal notes, text messages, observations, or conversations that in retrospect hold significance. No detail is too small. It may be the key. We miss our mom with every breath, and we cannot be in peace
It's heartbreaking.
until she is home. We
Doesn't matter how
cannot
much money
grieve.
they have, they're still here.
We can only ache and wonder. Our focus is solely on finding her and bringing her home. We want to celebrate her beautiful and courageous life, but we cannot do that until she is brought to a final place of rest. Thank you for continuing to pray without ceasing. The Guthrie family. And it's signed Cameron and Christine. That's Cameron, Nancy Guthrie's son, and presumably his wife. Annie and Tommaso. That's Annie is Nancy's daughter and her husband, Tommaso, and Savannah and Michael.
Thank you for
Savannah,
recording,
obviously
Court
Nancy's very
Mama.
famous Today Show host daughter, and her husband, Michael. So I don't know if it stood out to you. The 2 things in that statement that popped off the screen to me were that Savannah for the first time mentioned January 11th. So January 11th is
Oh,
really
she
important
That day was
because
very important.
we had only heard from
wish
sources.
the
A lot
neighbor
of
would
members of the
pull
press had different
video
police
of the
and law
cars
enforcement and
from
FBI sources
January
that had
11th
said,
as well.
hey, the second image of the
Tomato.
intruder not wearing a backpack and not wearing a holster and a gun is from a different date. And lots of neighbors said that they'd been asked about January 11th. And apparently law enforcement was out asking a lot of the neighbors about January 11th and then came back and said, let's widen the aperture all the way from January 1st to January 31st. So we were all very curious about January 11th, right? And lots of stuff happened about January 11th. Like Michael Ruiz from Fox Digital has 2 different law enforcement sources that said the picture with no backpack and no gun and holster was from January 11th. So that would make sense that, law enforcement's out asking the neighbors about
How's this? Is
January
this
11th.
better?
Do you have video from January 11th? Do you know anything that happened on January 11th? And there's Savannah Guthrie now
Karen, is that
putting
better?
out this statement saying, maybe you know something about January 31st, the late night, and the early morning hours of February 1st, which is exactly when her mom went missing. But then she adds the late
No,
evening
I wish.
of January 11th.
I wish.
Something about that also stood out because she said the late evening of January 11th. That's a Sunday night.
We're watching the
So the
video
late
together
evening
on the
would be
big
late
white seat.
Sunday night.
If you want to come over to say
Whereas
your
we
name and
were all
logo.
thinking like the late Saturday night into Sunday morning. Was he assessing these?
If you're
dates?
in here
Because
right now and you
neighbors
do not follow me,
also
please
said
do
that
so.
Police came
Ready
around
to?
asking about January 24th. That's a Saturday. And that's a week before Nancy Guthrie disappeared. So was this guy casing Nancy's home 2 weeks before, 1 week before, and then striking on February 1st?
I'm going to put my
And was
headphones
he
on.
doing it late Saturday night into Sunday morning, both of those weekends? Well, according to Savannah's statement, it's late in the evening, Sunday night. January 11th is a Sunday, so late in the evening would be Sunday night. So I'm still a little confused about that. I think I may have the answer for you, though, where all this confusion came. Because remember that that the Sheriff Chris Nanos, told us all that we'd be speculating only if we thought anything about the image of the perpetrator without the backpack and without the holster.
No,
and
the
gun.
trial is not back.
We'd only be speculating if we thought that was a
Still
different
looking
case.
at carpet.
Meanwhile, FBI sources are telling every one of their, media sources or media representatives that it's a different date. Came from a different date. So we've all just said, okay, well, that's in the wind. We don't know what to do with that. But now we're hearing a statement from the sheriff.
Today's logo
and it
is
may
10
have
court
the actual
report.
answer. I'm going to get to
If
that
you
in a
can
second.
throw when it goes to
But
support
I
what
also
I
just
do on
wanna
this
say,
platform.
like,
Please
go
do
back in
so.
time here. FBI Director Kash Patel,
Firebird!
he released that doorbell video footage, right? And the still image
Thank you for the corgi.
of that masked suspect on Feb 10. February 10th is a long time ago, right?
Mhm.
I kind of wonder why more images haven't been released. Or did they give us everything?
Mr. Grayson,
Like,
a corgi
did they
cord.
give us everything they had?
I'm feeling better,
Does
Connie.
Kash
Thank
Patel
you.
and the FBI have more? Was Google able to scratch more? And they're not giving it to us. We do know that they've said they have additional camera images from other cameras.
Harley,
that
thank you
just
for
aren't
coming over.
investigative
Hey, lady in
significance that They
red.
said, but they said in
Hi,
the backyard
Rebecca.
they can see some workers on different dates before the incident, and they can see police officers in the backyard after the incident, but nothing on the actual day. Okay. But anything beforehand, I would like to know who's in the backyard. I would like to see. Because if you saw someone in the backyard, you're like, oh my God, that's my ex-boyfriend and he's a rapist and he's a criminal. And he's
Why
always
do you
talks
think
about knocking
January
off
the
people.
11th? Talk to
It would be
me.
helpful for a tip. I'm just saying.
What
if
are
we
your
knew
theories
more,
about
if we
January
saw
the
more,
11th as you
there
listen
might be
and
more
watch?
pointed tips with actionable intelligence, So I'm just sort of curious why, A, they're not releasing more images if they have them. And I get it. They probably don't want to, show a bunch of like innocent landscapers and pool guys.
Hi,
And
Sandy.
suddenly the whole world is running to their front doors and like videotaping them and turning them into the police. But there could be something else there.
Scoping the
for
neighborhood,
the
Mama
public to
says.
help. And to that end, why wasn't the public brought in on the February, on the January 11th date? Why didn't they ask us? The whole lot of eyes that were on this case all through February. Why didn't they say early on, as early as possible, January 11th? Do you know anything about January 11th? For instance, do you have a boyfriend that
agree,
was stepping
Becca.
out on you that night? You didn't know where he was all night and you are mad. Or you just don't have your answer. Let
Good
us know.
call, Ashley Banfield.
Do you have an ex-boyfriend who was acting weird
Right.
January 11th?
Think about
Stepping out,
it.
acted weird, got into a fight. Did that ex-boyfriend step out again on Feb 1, right? Jan 31, Feb 1. Saturday to Sunday, out all night, Saturday night into Sunday morning, because those are the kinds of tips that can sink a suspect, right? A jilted lover can sink a suspect. A mom or a cousin or an estranged brother, estranged sister, estranged father, whatever. If they know something was up, but January 11th was significant to them, why not release that? Why not have the whole world asking themselves about January 11th? Is there something that maybe I can do for the police regarding January 11th? But they didn't. They just left us all to wonder and ask questions.
Hmm.
Super frustrating, because
Mm.
maybe a tip might have come in, but now we're like, I don't know, day 51. Can anybody remember what you were doing in January, mid-January? Most of you would be like, I don't know, it was
No.
dry January.
No
Feels like
clue what I was
eons
doing
ago.
January the
It's
11th.
a long time ago.
No
It's a
clue.
lot longer ago than maybe it needed to be. They work in mysterious ways, maybe they had their reasons, but it just seems frustrating that could have had a lot of people thinking about January 11th if you just leveled up and told us why January 11th mattered.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what we can tell you now.
Why,
Again, with the
why do
cherry-picked
you think they
interview,
haven't said
the
exactly
sheriff
why?
chooses NBC, seems to really
Why?
favor NBC, and favors locals. This is what the sheriff said regarding January 11th. He said to NBC, Google initially told investigators that a surveillance image of a masked man at Guthrie's front door that was recovered from a Nest camera at her home was believed to be from January 11th. That's when you should have gone out to the public and yelled January 11th from the rooftops. Anybody
Yes.
seen anything weird on that day?
Yes.
Did anybody behave weirdly in your family? They didn't. And then this is what Nanos continues to say. However, Google then backed off that assertion. Quote, Google initially reported that date as a, quote, possibility, quote, then later retracted the statement, Nanos told NBC. The company told authorities it could not definitively determine that the surveillance image was from January 11th or any specific date, according to
27,000 likes.
Sheriff
I'm going to
Nanos
challenge you to
maintains
get to
it remains
50,000 likes.
unclear if the suspect showed up at Guthrie's home prior to the night of her abduction. The FBI and Google have not commented on the timeline. So let me unpack that for a hot minute. We now do not know, according to the sheriff, whether the guy with no backpack, no gun, no holster, and what looked like different shoes was on a different night.
Thank you for
Even
the
though
corgi
the
cord,
FBI
bless
has
mama.
told
Thank
many
you.
sources among the media that those are two
Oops.
Is
Thank
that because
you.
the FBI was going off of this Google information that the sheriff is saying became outdated? I don't know, but I kind of feel like those reporters keep going back to those sources, and they would have said, "Hey, I got to tell you something." By the way, I've got several sources, and they call me and say, "Let me tweak something I told you earlier today. I'm talking to others, and that's not, this part's more accurate. If you word it that way, this is more accurate." So it's not like they don't care once they give us information.
Exactly, Lindsay.
They don't just give us something, walk away and forget about us.
Exactly.
That's not all the time. That's not how it
That's
works.
so true.
There's a lot of care and
You
consideration.
probably remember 20 years
So
ago
I would be
versus
shocked that
70 days ago.
nobody's
True.
sources came back to them to say, "Oh, you remember that January 11th
Yeah, I
thing
know.
I
It
told you
feels
about?
good.
That maybe that the guy's wearing the guy wearing the no backpack and no gun is from a different date." Yeah, scratch that. Google changed their minds. That didn't happen. It's only happening with Nanos, and it's only happening in this one cherry-picked NBC interview. Google initially told investigators that a surveillance image of a masked man at Guthrie's front door was recovered from a Nest camera at her home, believed to be from January 11th. Google initially reported that date as a possibility, then later retracted the statement. Okay, I'd be thoroughly satisfied with all of this if it weren't coming from Sheriff Nanos. And I'm sad to say that. I like to trust law enforcement. I do. I just don't trust him and don't trust his statements because he just
Mr.
seems to
Gray.
mess up. And then what
Another
he says
corgi
is either
cord.
untrue or completely confusing or it doesn't make sense. If you need an example, that's a lie. He told a Fox
Thank
reporter who
you.
said, "Can you talk to me about
Thank you.
the FBI going to gun stores with a list of names and images of people's faces. That's a lie. Well, no, it isn't, because we've already been
Angie,
gun stores
good
and things
point.
that
I
it's
think
happening.
they accidentally released
And,
that.
we
Very true.
know- we believe we know why he was here, and we've known since day one.
True.
That was Sheriff Nanos, last week, I guess.
I so believe that.
Really? So you've known since
It's
day
so
one, huh?
true.
So on day one, you said there's no cause for concern out there in the community. There's no danger to the community. Called off the search, and we're handing the crime scene back to the family. And then 6 weeks later, he could strike again. I guess that means there is a concern.
6
to the
weeks to
community.
plan.
So what do you mean you've known since day one?
41 minutes
Day one, you
inside,
said
by
no
the way.
concern. This is why I don't trust everything that Sheriff Nanos says. It just,
Says on the mic one, too.
I just feel nervous. Like looking at that, I'd like it to make sense, but I don't know if it does. I don't know if he knows, honestly. He didn't even know the FBI was in there with the Guthrie family getting statements on camera to hand out to these alleged ransom seekers. He didn't even know about that. His wife told him. She saw it on TV. So again, I'm not 100% sure that I can be satisfied that he knows what he's talking about here. But for what it's worth, that happened. Also, I'm still very, very curious about January 24th, right? That's a Saturday night, a week before Mrs. Guthrie disappeared.
What's up with January 24th?
Neighbors were being canvassed just in the last 2 weeks. Again.
What is that
on
date?
January 24th. So was this guy
How do they know they were being
really,
canvassed?
really good at casing the place before he made his strike?
Robbie, I've not
Or did
heard
he
of
just
this
show up
date
that night,
before.
have a look around, maybe tried a few other doors down the way, and finally ended up at this house, and wouldn't you know it, great, it's open and I can find a victim. I have a harder time believing that. And what you're about to learn really backs that up. It backs up it being hard to believe that this is sort of random. My source telling me that Mrs. Guthrie often left those back doors unlocked.
Mr. Gray?
It lends itself to
Thank you
the kind
very
of
much, Mr.
investigation
Gray. You're being
that
a
pushes
freaking
towards
amazing
an
today.
opportunity narrative. Let's quote, opportunity
you.
narrative. An offender exploiting a routine vulnerability rather than executing a sophisticated high-skill breach. This in turn affects how they think about offender selection.
Oh, Juby,
More likely
really?
somebody
Thank you for
local
that.
or observant who noticed the pattern of unlocked doors, not necessarily someone with specialized tools or inside access. So I
I did
called
not
Gray
realize
Hughes
that.
at Gray Hughes
Interesting.
Investigates. Very good podcast. Check it out for sure. I've linked the description to the podcast that I did with him just a few days ago, because Gray and I kind of did the macro look. And he's so good at literally mapping things out, mapping the home inside, outside,
Thank you, kind
doorways,
sir.
egress,
Thank you, Mr. Gray.
and also neighborhood. And so Gray and I talked a lot about the potential of what might have happened within the neighborhood the night that Mrs. Guthrie disappeared, and his theories
Thank you.
about what this perpetrator did with his vehicle. He's got a very interesting theory, by the way, and it matches with the timeline of the cameras going out. I disagreed with it, however, so you should see our conversation. But today I called him and said, hey, can you get those 3D skills of yours back up and cooking? Because now that I've learned this information about the back doors being routinely left unlocked and the offender profile being now kind of shifting for
But why would she
investigators more
leave
than
her
likely
doors
knowing this
unlocked?
information,
Even if
as
you
a-
know your area,
a
that's so dangerous.
exploiting a routine vulnerability rather than executing a sophisticated high-skill breach. Walk me around the house and let's find all the places where there are doors, where in the back there are doors, where there are windows, and where those doors lead to in the house. So where this perpetrator might have come in and where Mrs. Guthrie was lying asleep in bed, and what he would have done to get in, get to her, and
Sarah
get her out.
sent
that
a
front door.
corky
So Gray is
cork.
fantastic.
Yeah,
the way he walks
yeah.
me through it. Have a listen to our conversation. Quick note from my sponsor. If your teenager is
Thank you,
glued
Sarah.
to their phone 8 hours a day, barely sleeping,
Firebird
maybe
sent a
obsessing over how
corgi
they look,
corg.
you have got to stop scrolling and listen. We used to think this was just a phase. But new reports suggest that these platforms were designed to keep our
Thank you,
kids
guys.
addicted. You know what I'm talking about.
Thank you so
right?
very
I'm
much.
talking about anxiety spikes, body dysmorphia, and that rage. Oh, that rage that you see when you try to take the phone away. This is not bad parenting. Trust me. This is an algorithm trained to keep them hooked, maybe at any cost. And honestly, this is heartbreaking to watch kids struggle. But there are finally legal steps being taken to fight to hold these platforms accountable. If this sounds like you and your family, don't ignore it. Click the link below. This takes just 60 seconds
Oh my
to
gosh.
see if you qualify for help.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Great. It's really good to
Corgi
have you.
Corgs coming
You're
in
so
from
good at
everybody.
navigating
Harvard,
scenes.
Sarah
I remember
again.
during
you
Idaho, you walked us all
guys.
throughout the crime scene of the of 1122 King Road. And
Emotional
since
damage.
I've heard this news
I
that
think I clicked. I forgot what my buttons are. It's been so long. Hold on a minute.
Guthrie used to leave her
That
back
one's a
doors,
laugh.
plural, open. It made me wonder, where are they and where do those doors lead to? And you've done some pretty great work in trying
Thank
to
you for the
figure out through
Corgi Corg.
photos and floor
Sarah,
plans
thank you.
where the doors are, where they lead to, and where this person might have gotten entry into the home. First and foremost, there's 5 doors, correct? To
Thank
this
you
home?
for your heart me's.
Yeah, I think
Disagree
there's
sent
one
some.
that leads
Thank
to a
you.
storage
Firebird,
unit.
thank you for the
There's
Corgi Corg.
one in the back. That it's just another single door that's sort of in the back, middle of the yard type, right near the right hand side.
Shirley,
In the middle, and then there's another door.
I was thinking the same
a
thing.
slider that goes from Nancy's room out to a little patio, and then there's a slider from the patio that goes in to the living room, and then the front door.
It's very confusing to hear it all. So let's actually look at it, because I think you've done a good job of mapping it out. So tell me where you want to start. What's easiest? Where do you want to start to show sort of which doors are where?
Well, I guess we could.
We're
just
watching
go
this
look
over
at,
on YouTube if you want to watch it
I think
together.
Google Earth would
Come
be
on
good.
over,
Let me
same
switch
username and
screens real
logo.
quick.
Visual, we're watching
And we
visual
just go
together.
like this. Let's just start at the front of the house.
Okay.
So we've all seen the video, right?
We all know that front door really, intimately by now.
Yes, and then if we go around, let's just go around this direction. There's a garage here, and then there's this little storage room right here that we didn't know where this door went until this floor plan came out. There's a storage
Can you zoom
room.
in there? Can you zoom into that? Because we've all seen this blue door.
Yeah, that's white.
To the right of the blue door, originally there were smashed floodlights that were hanging there. They were just dangling there until the police finally removed them. I think it was, I don't know, second week or something. At the same time, they were removing the camera off that casita to the left bottom of the screen, that guest house. But that blue door there on the left, a lot of us thought it was a back door to maybe the kitchen or something or other. But your inner floor plan shows that corner there is actually not necessarily
Same
house.
username and logo.
It's
Steph, just
actually
look for
a
Steph's
little
case
piece
files.
of the
I'm live.
garage, right?
Yeah, let's get the. Here's
Oh
the
my gosh,
garage.
it's just one.
Let's say we're driving from the bottom
Who
of the
done
screen
that?
into the garage. Can
Mr.
you do that?
Gray.
Yeah, if we were driving from the beginning, driving from the bottom of the screen, it would have came in like this. So
Okay,
this
so
is
we're-
the front of the garage. We're actually looking at it from behind the house, and that camera
Thank
that
you, Mr.
you were just
Gray.
referring to was right over here on the top
But
of
people
the
should
building.
know that this big, huge bottom square that says 56.4 on
Thank
the
you,
bottom, that's not building,
Desiree,
that's
thank
yard.
you.
Yeah, that's right here. This
Yeah,
place.
that big square there. Okay, that's helpful. So because people are thinking that's an awfully big piece of the building.
Yeah.
But so that big empty square on the bottom is yard, and this
Talk
little
about Kelsey Fitz Simmons
rectangle with
taking an hour
a
lunch.
diagonal line through it is actually an outdoor patio. So if you go to the left of the patio and scooch over all the way to the left, you'll be getting towards that little blue door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
I think
that
the
little
blue door
blue
is
door-
right here. I think in this next to that room, just right next, right in this little spot. I'm moving. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm moving around like a
There,
little,
now I see it. Yeah.
yeah, right there.
And what's sort of interesting about that is that
I wish they would
we all
flip
thought
this.
that was just going
I guess
inside the
the
house, and it looks like it's actually going inside either
the
the
way
garage
I think they
or
got
a
it
little bit
flipped,
of a
flipped wrong.
tool room or garden room or storage room off the garage. And it's not necessarily going into the house proper, correct? That little blue door that everyone's looked at?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that they used glass on it for a storage room. but,
Sarah
it is what it is. So
sent a
there's
Corgi
that.
Corg. Thank you.
And so you saw that there was a storage room just in there. And then if we go back to the map, there's a garage.
Duke's mom, good
the
to see
garage
you.
is right there. So the storage room doesn't appear to go into the garage. I don't know if there's another door right there. We don't know that. We can't see into the garage very well. There is a shot that I have in the garage, this one, and you can see that there is a garage, half of a garage door there. Now this looks newer than a door that we might see.
How's that?
Because these photographs that apparently we have inside the home seem to be
Better.
from a while ago.
And let's be really clear about the floor plan that you're looking at, and the photos we'll show people in a moment inside the home. Where did you get this floor plan, and roughly how old might it be, even though we can't really date it?
Well, somebody actually sent it to me. Then I went out to the same website. It was like a county website that had the floor plan, and I downloaded it. And
Oh,
so
yes, Rebecca.
it was great, but
Yeah, if you guys want to see visuals, come on over to YouTube.
So
Way
we're
better
left
over
to
here.
Try to figure that out. And that door that we were just seeing is right here. And so that's going to
Inside the garage.
Right,
Meaning if you drive into the garage and then you got out of your car and kept walking forward, that would be, point to that again, put your cursor where that was again. You would be walking through the door to the interior of the house.
So the door's on the left when you go in.
Right. And so when Nancy was dropped off that night and the garage door opened, she likely went through that door to go into the house.
Mm-hmm.
So
where does the blue door go in?
And knowing now that you'd be walking through that door.
What room?
And that it's not that little blue door that we've all been looking at in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Flip to the inside. Or should we flip to the inside of the house so we can see what you're referring to by the way you get from the garage into the house and where it lands you.
So I think this is it right here. So this, I believe that this image right there, now you see that there isn't glass on the lower portion of it.
Right.
Because that door looks like one of the newer type of doors that you have with the blinds inside the glass. And so I think this is an area where you come into the house and then
first time I've seen these pictures.
It heads towards the back. Now, if you look way back there, you can literally see the cement wall in the backyard there. So it is the correct. I mean, I really believe this is an image from inside the house. Yeah, the orientation is correct.
And also just note for a minute, if you will, again, it's a little bit disorienting because it's not what we all thought.
Yeah, it is.
It's through that door,
kind of backward for me
here because Gray and I have not been in the house. So we're just going by the outside plans where the windows all fall and these interior photos, which could be very old. So you've
me either,
walked in
Mama.
that door, and if it is the garage, you've walked straight along the length of the car and into the kitchen, and you turn to the right. And if you walk along those cabinets, you can see there's no windows there. So you're presumably walking along the nose of the car and then maybe the nose of another car. You're walking.
Oh, I see. So that white door right there is the garage door going out to the garage.
But that would, as Gray just said, land you at the back of the house as you get to those windows.
And you can see right there, it does go around. See it right there? It would go around the corner, and that does match the map, right? So see right there, it comes around.
Yes. Okay. So
it's looking pretty
go
good.
back.
The windows
Put back.
Kind of weird though, right?
The windows are tricky, and I will say that I think some of the windows may be a little bit overgrown, especially where the sink is. So if you go to the left, you can see over to the far left. That's where you would stand at the sink. You can see through the window, but it feels like it might be one of the windows that's very, very overgrown. With
come over to YouTube if you want to see the actual photos from inside the house. We're looking at them.
Look at all that greenery.
A large window there, and there might be a window behind there. Mm-hmm. I've looked for it. I can't see one, but it's also too thick.
Make sure you get me a follow on YouTube when you come over as well.
Okay, so just as you're looking at that picture, you can now see to the right of everything that Gray just showed you.
Nope, they're on a lunch break, Colette.
A cover. There's an awning over this patio. And the patio is significant because we've now learned where the second significant door is to Nancy's house. And we do not know which door was used by the perpetrator to gain access. We just know what I reported from my source, and that is that her back doors, plural, were often left unlocked, according to Nancy's children telling the police. So
let's go again. I'm
let's
sure,
walk
Hannah.
under that awning best we can and sort of place through different photographs and some of the drone shots that we've been able to freeze from Fox and from News Nation, what the placement is of the walls and windows and the door under that awning.
I think this is the blue door underneath the awning right here.
That'll be the
And
second door now.
yeah, and that's the second
Coming
one,
out
and
from the
first
kitchen?
one is the one that leads into the storage unit over there. But there, it's blue, and it's just right there. And I think that's a way to get into the house, and you're getting near Nancy's room at this point. too, when you enter
Ollie,
that
thank you for
door.
coming over.
Significant about this door, though, and Fox was very good at pointing this out, and that is that you can see that it's got a door handle, it's got a lock, it's a standard door. It is not special or unique in any way. It is a standard door that has a door lock. You don't see it necessarily exactly there. You can see it on that picture there. You can see
Yeah, it's a
the
standard
handle
door.
And again, it's
Think she locked
breaks
that
my heart
one?
to think that this might have been one of the doors that he used to get through, given that it is a locking door. You can see just barely a little deadbolt. So this is a key picture here. This is the couch outside on the patio under the
Thank you
awning.
for
And if you're sitting
sending
on this couch, you're facing
donuts,
the
Mr.
pool,
Gray.
the
Thank
grass, and
you.
you can see the reflection of the grass in this outdoor window, but it is clearly a window, not a door. And it sort of spans the length of this outdoor sofa.
And we know exactly where that is. Well, where all the the furniture is and the walls and stuff like that. That's hard. However, this is what it looked like at one point in there. Here is that window that we were just looking at. Notice
Right. On the outside of that window, you'd be sitting on a sofa looking out into that greenery.
just like that.
Right there. Yeah.
Right. And
Thank you for
when
your
we go
hot
back in here
mean.
now, here's something that's
58,000
interesting.
likes. Let's see if we can get to
Just
100,000
add
likes
more
pretty
proof
quickly.
there. So here's the door over there. Now, again, these pictures might be 15, 20
If you
years
are
ago, I
new
don't
in
know.
here, please
But
give
look
me a
back here at this
follow.
brick
It's
wall.
free to
See how the
do.
brick wall goes like that,
Right.
and then there's a corner right there, and then it turns. So if we go back up to Google Earth and flip around, right there is the wall, the corner, and then it turns. So
Yeah.
it's definitely the right space, and that's where that window is right there, and that door is right in
Okay,
here.
hold on.
And that door, if you were to walk out the door, you would immediately see a brick wall on your left. And that's the brick wall of
Exactly.
I believe, the bedrooms that start in the farther part of the home. See that brick
There's the
wall
brick
through the window
wall.
of the door right
Yeah.
there? You open the door and you got literally a brick wall on your left, which appears to be maybe the bedrooms.
Which is right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So that's door number 2. And we've assessed where those
Yeah, because you
windows
see the
are.
brick
And
wall
to the
fence
left,
too out the window.
Gray, to the left of that patio furniture, I was thinking, well, maybe there's another door that goes closer into where the kitchen is. And under that awning, many of the drone shots, very, very hard to see. But Mo Moran, who's one of the greatest photographers of all time, and I've worked with him many, many days, he was able to get his drone to look to the left under the awning, and it is just a straight up brick wall. There is no door. There is nothing. There's not even a window to the left of all that furniture. There's just some lovely plants. It's like a little plant corner, but clearly not another window, not another door. So you can sort of X off that area to the left of the awning, under the awning, the left part under the awning. There is no additional door at that patio. There is only one door in that patio. Then we go to the
So
right,
where do you think
Gray,
he
you can
went
see
in
the
at?
air conditioning, or at least the
Besides
vent
the
unit
front
there.
door.
And
So I think he come out the
I think
front
there's-
door.
That's a window there as well,
I think
right?
there's a
To the
window
left of
right
that,
here
yeah.
and right there. There's 2 windows there.
which could be 1 or 2 small bedrooms.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's weird. It's the way this is laid out is pretty interesting. I mean, it's it's hard to put when you look at there's only 3 pictures that I have of the interior, and
Mhm.
so we don't know exactly, but we do know that Nancy's room is, I believe we know that her room is right here, and this is going to be a slider that goes out to the deck, and then I think.
We don't know. We assume based on some
Right.
things you're going to show us. Basically, we've got a
Back
few
door
ideas of what the
on the
interior
patio.
looks like based on these photos that Gray has been
Patio.
showing you. Also, the Today Show segment that she did. What was it? 2012. I'm trying to remember the date. It was a
like
long time ago.
2013 maybe.
Yeah, and she
Close.
did a Today Show segment on how to make your bed. And so they had a live camera in her bedroom when Savannah and her co-anchors, it was just sort of a fun segment on the best protocols for making a good bed. And it was really sweet. But that window, Gray, that you're basically front and center is an important window to look at based on the pictures that we saw on the Today Show segment.
Right. And I think the headboard is just right over here. So there is a space here that could be a bathroom, another bedroom. We don't know. Like these windows.
Is
here
it
go
not
to a
on the
different
layout? I thought
room
they
that's
had the
not
sort of like the
Nancy's room.
plans.
And there's a wall.
Not the
right
plans,
there
but the
behind the headboard. All right. And so there's a slider. We're assuming goes from her room. It seems to make sense that you have a slider to go out to a private patio.
And that the master bedroom would have the slider and not the kids' bedrooms. I mean, that's not
Right,
usually what you want
exactly.
in your children's bedrooms, is a sliding door to, get out.
Exactly.
so-called messes in the house.
Most people don't realize how exposed their digital lives really are until something goes wrong, like a charge that you didn't make. And by the time you see it, the damage might already be done. And that is why I want to tell you about OmniWatch.
Commercial time.
OmniWatch helps protect your identity, your credit, and your financial.
We're going to mute her during her commercial time. So if you're just joining us, we are watching. We were going to watch the Kelsey Fitzsimmons trial, but I have a thing with timing, apparently, and so now they're at lunch, and we can't watch that. So instead, we're watching the Ashley Banfield podcast. And for the first time for me, remember that this live is going to automatically post, because I'm live on YouTube as well, to YouTube when I'm done. Excuse me for sniffling. So when you have time, please go back. Please go back and watch this, because they're showing actual real photos from inside Nancy Guthrie's house.
So here's the segment where the cameraman and is shooting the headboard.
Yeah, you want me to leave it here? I think there's another one that's a little bit more to the left, further
Off
into
to the left, you see the window.
Yeah, right
It goes
there.
out. To the
It's
side of the
right
house,
there
yeah?
too. That
Mhm.
window.
And then you can
Patio
kinda see
door
it
is
even in
just-
this image. You're cut off on your screen, but
Yeah.
right up to the left, there's a window there and a curtain.
Swift.
And I think if
Hey.
let me just try to move it forward further down. Yeah, right there. This
Swifty's in
one
the house.
is really got the whole window that you can see. And then you can see
And
how
so the
close-
headboard, just so people know, the headboard, Nancy's headboard, would be a wall, perhaps with the next bedroom over, that would go towards the back of the house. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that wall right there, if you look back out to here, that wall would have to be somewhere in the middle. Of
We're
this
watching
window and this
visuals on
one, so there
YouTube,
is another
so I know it
room,
looks weird that I'm just staring
perhaps
at
a
you here on
master
TikTok,
bathroom or a
but we're
bedroom.
watching this
Or maybe
together
2
on
bedrooms. They
YouTube.
have
So if
3
you want to
kids,
watch visuals, come on over.
growing up. And
Same
then,
username and
Anna
logo.
Said she spent the latter part of her life there, but a long part
Tanya!
of her life, and she's got 2 siblings, so there's got to be enough bedrooms in the house. But I think you're right. I think that slider is most probably into a master bedroom than a kid's bedroom. So now you were going to tell us about the adjacent, because that's door number 3 now, right? We've gotten to that door number 3 in that little nook.
Yeah.
I call it the alcove nook on the corner of the house, and
Right.
it's the front of the house.
It's-
That little nook is the front of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see the slider going into the room that we just
Like a patio
just
area on
Nancy's.
the front.
There's another slider going in the other angle.
Right there.
And and that right there is the living room, because we now know because of your pictures inside.
Yeah. So here we
The
go.
window's the living room?
It's actually pretty interesting to look at this. So we see this fireplace right here. And then we're going
Oh,
to
I see how it
like
is.
this. So you know that the slider's right there,
Mhm.
and there's a window right there. So let's just turn it
Okay.
like
There's
this.
2
There's a
sets
window
of
on
sliders. They
either
go
side
to
of the
2 different
fireplace, which is
places.
now the front of the house. That fireplace is on the front of the house.
And so
Actual
here's the
picture.
fireplace.
YouTube,
There's
they're
the
showing a
window on the
picture.
left, and there is the
Actual
slider
picture from
that
inside.
goes out to the private patio where Nancy could go from her room to the right over there.
She could go out the living room slider, take a right, and go in a slider into the
That's
presumed master bedroom.
yep.
Exactly.
I didn't realize
And
that.
that fireplace,
Slider
if
also
we
goes
can
into
get
the
picture
living
right
room,
or we
folks.
can't, would have another window right over there on the left-hand side of it.
That's right. And then the door to go outside is a little bit even more back behind us a little bit. Not
Almost
too
where you're
much.
standing. If you're the
Right.
photographer, you're probably standing close to the front door at this point, right?
Mhm. So like that
Tom
shot
Forbes
was taken from
is
probably
who took these
somewhere
photos.
like
I'm going to go
this,
get
but
copies
inside
There's
the
the-
home.
There's
after
the
this
chimney.
live.
And then there's the arches right there that goes inside the house. So we couldn't see this window. So we were probably like right here inside the house.
So that is door number 3. And are we at door number? We're
I
door
think it was number 4. This is
and
4
2,
here.
3, and 4. Yeah, door number 3 was the presumed master bedroom. Door number 4 is the living room slider. 2 sliders. door number 5 is, of course, the front door.
That's it.
Yeah. Very, very tricky to sort of navigate all of that. But I don't know how often you've done these stories where there's been burglaries or missing people or murders or, some kind of terrible crime. But
What
so
is
many
his
law enforcement
username? I
officers
want to
I've
follow
spoken
him.
with,
They're
federal
talking about
level,
Gray.
local
His name is
level,
Gray, which is
state
different from
level,
Mr. Gray
say
in here.
sliding doors are usually a culprit. People just forget about the locks on the slide. They're usually a latch. It's a little different than your normal pop a button or turn a lever. That sliding doors are a real problem.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't think he come in that way.
Last door as well, and
Sure
maybe
did.
that wasn't locked either. You're like, hey, we let the dogs out. People come in and out, and you just don't lock the door.
Well, that is.
Unless it's important in this way, if the napper went in the back door and he went over to the sliding doors in the living room to let that other person in, if there's 2 people, to help him carry her out. And then maybe both of them went around the corner into the bedroom door and then took her out the front door. And that's why you see the blood. Does that make sense?
This is the story of the kitchen door in the back at 1122 King Road.
I'd say probably
They never
4.
locked the back door. Every
4
friend of yours
bedrooms,
said it
maybe?
was open. You were always
Right.
able to go in and out. And honestly, at a student house, you would just do that. You would think you would do that. Maybe 5 girls living together, maybe that would be a little bit more tricky. You would think about security more. But honestly, there were just so many kids that came and went. It didn't seem like it was a problem to leave that slider open.
Yeah, exactly. And then in this case, you have 2 sliders where you're surrounded by a wall. So you probably think, oh, this is safe. And then in the backyard, it's also surrounded by a wall. Then you got your security camera.
Me
You're
too.
just feeling like,
Bless
okay,
Mama. I
nobody's
really do
coming in
believe
here.
there was multiple
But-
people.
I mean, that's exactly what predators look for, especially with the
Throw down
elderly
Courtney's
person that's
coming
all
over
by
to the
herself
Watay.
in a home, and what.
And we don't know where this predator gained access. We only know that there are those 2 sliders, right? And
Thank
that
you. 5
Nancy
bedrooms.
left her back doors, plural, open very regularly, which would have been a door that would have gone into
looks
the
smaller to
garage,
me
and
than
so many
4,000
people
square
leave
feet.
their garage
Thank you,
doors
Erica.
to their homes open as well. Very few people
Right.
think to lock the door that goes out into your
Thank
garage
you.
because your garage seems like a sacrosanct place as well.
Well, what door do you think was the one that was left wide open now?
I mean, at this point, I think it may have been that one next to the patio furniture, because whoever this perpetrator was, it looks like he smashed those floodlights out. Who else would have left those floodlights in that condition? A contractor? It just
Yeah.
seems hard to believe. Seems like it would be logical, right? You'd
Yeah.
darken the back and then you'd go test the doors.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, let's
Big
say the one
Red's
with
over here on the
broken,
YT. Welcome in.
lights where the storage unit door is. What if he opened that one up and goes, hell, there's nobody in there, and he just didn't care to shut it? It's just like, why would you shut it? Oh my God, this goes into a storage unit.
Because
So
I
then he
don't think
moved.
because I don't think my sources, and I've got 2 of them now. Actually, I've got 3. At this point, I now have 3. Have all said the words back door wide open. So I don't think they would have said door to the storage
Okay.
room was
Right.
wide open. They would have said,
Okay, let me pause it here because I want to remind you when this first started with Nancy, I said, I bet you they went through that blue door. That's the door that I have said I think they went in from Momento Uno.
back door wide open. And listen, I can only guess because I don't know.
Remember that over here on
which
YouTube,
one,
you can
but,
send a super sticker
if
to
she
help
leaves
support the
plural, if she,
platform
got in the habit
or a
of
super
leaving
chat.
Plural doors open. That's an easy way to access. And if you came in the front door, if you were, the family members or the police officers who were responding, the patrolmen who arrived at the call of a missing person, you could see right away. I think if you walked in that front door, based on the floor plan, can you put your floor plan back up again of the house, the simple one, the one that I think has color. It looks really easy to follow. I feel like you might be able to actually see
Waiting for him to put it back
inside
up.
that little family room that had the windows out to the sofa, you know?
Okay.
So if you walk in the front door, which is the top, it says 9-8 at the top,
Right
right there.
there.
You walk in the front door and then look straight across. You're looking straight across
At the
which has that
patio.
little door to the right.
Okay.
Move your little hand
I
over
can
to the
see
right.
it better
So
through this
Yeah.
way
there's
Right
the
there.
door.
because
So
they
if you
have
walked in the
it. They
front
have
door,
it positioned
you
right.
could instantly see the back door open if you were looking. If you walked in the front door, you'd have to search around the house to notice that storage room door
So
open.
this might be then the living room, and just to the left is the arch. You come in the door and you look straight across, right across to here, right? So the living room might be to the left, because if that's the patio right there, because that is what that is, right? That's the window in the middle of the
Yes,
patio.
and by the way, Gray, look to the right. There's a fireplace on the right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see that on the roof.
And
That's
look
beautiful too,
outside,
that
look at your
fireplace.
outdoor-
You see how
there's
pretty that is?
Fireplace chimney right there, and the patio awning. You can see
That's a
looks like
beautiful
part of the roof.
fireplace.
That's just an awning. That's an indent. It's an awning.
We're
So you walk
watching
in that
on
front door,
YouTube,
you're
TikTok.
either
We're
going
watching
left
the
to living
visuals
room
together. We can't
or
show those
straight ahead
over
to
here.
that awning.
We could,
And
but
that back door is just to the left. I mean,
be a
you're
hot
almost-
mess.
it looks like you'd
Freezing,
be just
being flagged, and all the
interesting,
other
too, 'cause
stuff.
what it
15
means-
steps.
Right,
You know,
and
you're in the
what's
front
weird-
entrance right here.
This
Weird
is a
that
second
means
fireplace,
this one
though.
right here then would be, if you turn to the right, you're seeing that last shot, because this is like,
Correct.
you're coming in the arc and you're looking right down there. That means just to the right, you're looking down, and there
Look at the
is-
chair on the right-hand corner of your screen, down below the big chair that you can
Oh,
see
that
it
one?
full. Is that? Yeah.
Let's see,
I mean,
let's see.
listen, who knows how things were furnished when these photos were taken, but it does seem that just to the left of the chair on the left is the door, and then you'd walk in and you'd be looking right down at that
Mhm.
fireplace and those windows.
Exactly. So we could
And that bookshelf
some
is
walls.
the bookshelf is possibly the side wall on the other side
Exactly.
of Nancy's bed that's out of the camera shot. That could be the master bedroom.
Thank you,
where,
Mama.
That would be the again the wall to the right of the bed as you're looking from the Today Show camera angle.
Yeah, it's interesting, because
Yeah.
that means like Nancy's room is in there somewhere,
Yeah,
and then the wall,
possibly.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like it makes the most sense. Like you were saying earlier, it leads out to a patio, and
What's
that's
up,
what would be in
Carol?
the master bedroom.
Carol's
Yeah.
over here on
Go back to
YouTube.
the shot of the interior of the home where you can see the back window. and
There's the back
fireplace in the
door.
back,
There's the back
because I
wall.
wonder.
Let's see.
I wonder how you would get to the other bedrooms in the back. I assume you go to the left there and past that door.
Yeah, there looks like there's definitely a turn that you can make
Yeah.
to go over
And
there,
then you
because that's
maybe
hidden.
get into the other kids' bedrooms.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of over where that area would be, and Nancy's room's over there too. So there might be a little hallway, a small little narrow hallway that goes to two different
Mhm.
doors, maybe. You know?
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. It's a little tricky. I can't imagine any other bedrooms on the right-hand side of this floor plan, like near the kitchen and
Yeah.
the garage. I feel like all bedrooms may be over on the left-hand side of the house, but if that's the case, maybe
It has to be because the garage
I can't
and the
remember the
kitchen
ages
is the
of
right
Amy and
side.
Savannah were. Maybe
They
same
have to be
bedroom.
in the back.
I mean, I think
Where's
it
the
has
other
to
three?
be-
Because there's three
like,
more.
This is garage, right? So you can almost wipe this whole area off in
And
terms of
storage,
bedroom.
right?
Yeah, and
Garage
storage.
and storage unit
This
or
is the
storage
kitchen,
room.
and dining room is right in here, right?
Yeah.
And
Kitchen and
then-
breakfast nook.
And then we just saw that
Garage,
that
living
larger-
room,
well, it's weird too.
kitchen.
You see that
Right at the
larger
awning.
they
shed?
have to be in the back where the
awning is
pool
right-
is.
Yeah, it's very tricky, right?
They have
Because
to.
That awning
That's crazy.
is that big window is right there.
Yeah, you know what's weird is
Welcome.
when you look back at the kitchen shot, this one, I think that's right next to this shot, right? Let's see.
Today's
This one.
live goal is a corky
think
cork.
literally
If you
we
can
just
send
slid
like us
about
support
2
the
feet down
platform
the-
and what we do
the
here. Tapping is clapping
Because
and
you're
sharing
right
and
at the
following and
arch, right?
all
You're
that
looking
stuff is
straight
also
ahead at
free.
those
Mhm.
windows
If you can do
underneath
that,
the-
we're
the
almost
awning that you're talking
almost
about.
to 100,000
So it
Parents
has
months.
to
directly to the
be-
right.
Let's see if I can find the other one.
Well, Greg, go to the
Oops,
go to the
shoot.
roof.
Wrong way.
Actually, the roof shot will help us because that fireplace
Mhm.
is right there.
There's two
and then
fireplaces
you'd be
though,
in the kitchen, and
right?
maybe the garage isn't both of those windows. It's hard to imagine that fireplace
One and
Yeah.
two.
kitchen could be awfully skinny.
I know. That's exactly the thought I was just having.
Thank you, bees knees.
It is the house, because you can see the layout. Everything in those images is correct.
Yeah.
It's just trying to figure out, like when you're looking at the top of this, what is this little part right
Indent.
there that indents in? So does it mean that the door maybe is right there? And, maybe, it's hard to say. When I say door, I mean the one that
You'd
goes to
have
the
to-
garage could
You
be.
kind of have to get the depth of the garage, I guess, and see how deep the car goes, right? Like there may not be a lot of space between the front and back wall of the garage.
Maybe we should look at this again. Oh, there it is. There's that little nook
There's that
there.
Yes, that's where
That
that's the
little indent.
nook. But
Interesting.
over
You know,
here
and-
is
and
where,
it's
like
hard
back
because
here where it
that-
says
that patio
325
seems to be
feet
right there,
or
with that
32.5,
fireplace,
excuse me.
And so then,
that back patio.
so let's see if we can try to make sense of this, because there's this little opening here,
Mm.
and that would be where the kitchen is supposed to be, apparently. Let's see.
I wish they would superimpose them. Oh
That
no.
little opening there.
I mean, I know
Maybe-
I'm
maybe
gonna
right there.
download these photos
But
and
that
do
would be
this
the
and figure
fireplace
this
would be
out.
right on the back side of that sink. On the left-hand side of the sink would be the fireplace. Maybe there's a pass-through. Maybe that left side that's out of the picture is a pass-through into that little family room. So you're all one room there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
hard
mean,
to tell. I have
it-
struggled
I
through
know.
this one.
It has to be, though, just to the left of this, though, is where you can see the 3-paned patio windows. Just to the left.
Yes.
Like if you slid over, just strafed over to the left, you should be able to see
Me
that. So
too.
there must be
I'm
a
trying to
wall
find the
on
bedrooms,
there.
Mama.
Or like I said,
I'm
maybe not a
trying to
wall,
find
maybe
the
a pass-through,
bedrooms.
Maybe just
Yeah.
a bar counter. And the bar counter, you're already into this room.
Sure.
know?
Like just right over here off to the
Yep.
right.
Yeah. And that tile.
They
fits
wouldn't
in
have
that
come
back
over that
corner
fence
on
there.
To the right of the
I'm
rug.
still hooked on the right,
that the
coming
same
up from the
kitchen
right
tile floor
into
right
the
there?
back blue door.
Let's see. That up again. Yeah, sort of.
Would
a
they have
similar
had to
look
come
to
through the
me.
It has
kitchen?
a similar look. If there are any architects watching or any designers, please in the comments tell Gray and me where we might be wrong, because we have. I'll tell you what I stressed over the longest, Gray,
Mhm.
was that door into the kitchen. I kept.
I agree.
If that's the little blue door out to the backyard. This
Me
doesn't make
too,
sense.
Mar.
Yeah, no,
None of
it's-
it
it's
makes
the
Me
one
sense.
in the
too.
garage. That's why it makes sense.
It's the door to the garage that none of us get to see unless the garage door is up and you peer under, and
Mhm.
then the door's been replaced
And there it
with
is right
something
there.
newer.
Yeah, so that looks
Right.
like a last 5 or 10 year door there. Yeah.
Can you zoom way out, like to the farthest out on that?
Mhm.
So go off, zero in on the left hand side of the garage, to the left of the wood pile.
Over here.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
What do we see over to the left of the
See,
wood pile
Dana
there?
says
To the left of
she thinks
people,
the
too.
patio door. I think the blue
back
door.
wall.
Oh, inside of here. Let's
Yeah,
see.
go to the left of the wood pile and the
Oh.
back wall. Like the back wall, what are we seeing over there?
Mm. I see. It looks like some wheels, or either weights or a wheel. On
That's
the
a garbage
ground.
can
What do you think?
Is it just storage? Like it's a brick wall next to a plaster wall,
or storage.
right?
Yeah, it's just brick wall, the same wall. It looks like it's made out of the same stuff that the garage is.
Was it
Mm.
indented?
Yeah,
It's
maybe
really
maybe
hard
that.
to tell.
Yeah, so that's interesting. That might answer the question that it might be like this. That wall goes like this,
Mm-hmm.
and the door is right here, not over
But
here.
then there's not much room for a kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It'd be so great if we could look in and see where the windows are.
Can we just
Yes.
take the roof
You know,
off?
Can't.
like
I
if
can't
the
see
wall
that
was
in-
right after the window, we could add a little bit more.
I'm gonna
but
have to get on my iPad and draw this with
Very
my
tricky.
hands.
It is. It is.
And by the
tricky.
way, we have no
I
idea if
drew
there's been huge renovations.
one other house my
inside
husband
over
built.
the
Exactly.
years, whether
I can
bedroom
draw.
walls have been knocked
I
down
can
to make
draw.
for a larger master. We don't know, any of that. It's just it's what we did, I think, when the four.
I know that this was Savannah's childhood home growing up. I know that. So, I mean, I know how old is this house? They've lived there since the early 90s. Is that right? So, if they have lived there since the early 90s, would it even be possible to find out who the original builder was? And if they are alive, go ask them. I mean, that would be an easy try. Just some ideas, Ashley Banfield.
Kids were killed in Idaho, we tried to figure out that floor plan. It was so confusing. And we had to do it with,
1975.
Zillow
Thank you, Dana.
pictures. windows, shadows, staircases, higher walls, lower walls, half walls. And then we finally kind of figured it out
Yeah.
before they knocked it
I
down.
actually made an entire 3D model, and I'm able to walk around in the house. So
That's what we
when I
need.
do my show, I'd be able to look at the pictures and go, here's where this one is. Here's where this one is, and walk through the whole thing, go upstairs into the different bedrooms. It's kind of neat
So
being able
helpful.
to do that.
So helpful, not just for the curious, but also for the practical. Like, how did this happen where someone didn't hear someone
They
else
might be,
screaming,
Melissa.
in the midst of two double murders, a double murder on the third floor, a double murder on the second floor, and a girl sleeping on the second floor and a girl sleeping on the first floor. How could that have been? But when you saw the bizarre floor plan, it did make sense. It made a lot more sense. Not everybody shared a floor and a ceiling and a wall.
Beast.
And
Seven.
I
Thank
spoke,
you.
We're getting off topic here from Nancy Guthrie, but
I feel
actually
like you
spoke
could,
to
Mama
the
Kay.
former tenants
Mama Kentucky.
in the
Because
first floor. If you're looking at the
just
front of the
leave where
house,
you don't know
right,
blank.
The kids used
The
it. The
storage
girls
unit.
used it as
We'll
a
fill it
storage,
in.
the golf, Ethan's golf
Mhm.
clubs and bicycle, and I think those kinds of things were in there. But that was his room, and he told me when he was in his room, he could hear nothing upstairs on the second floor because he
Really?
didn't share
Wow.
any walls and he didn't share any ceiling with the second floor. And he said you could be screaming at the top of your lungs in the TV room, which was just up the stairs, wouldn't hear it. And he also said every one of the doors had its own key code lock because they were individually leased rooms. They weren't all roommates. They came in and they leased a room. They had common
Who?
entrance, they had common amenities, common bathroom, common kitchen, but they had their own bedrooms and they didn't know who they were moving in with. They probably got to know them, but they each
Henry.
locked their doors against
Good to
the
see
other.
you.
It's
And
weird
so
too, 'cause I thought that storage room is right below Xana's room.
it is.
Oh, she's talking about the
but
Idaho
he said
Four
He
house.
couldn't hear anything.
Well, that's good. I mean,
And I'm
that's
trying
that
to think,
shows you.
did Xana's room share?
Okay,
the
she jumped.
entire
Okay,
floor
I was
plan
like,
with that lower one, or
I
did it
know
move
Nancy
so.
ain't
back
written
into
out
the-
no
'cause
damn
it's
rooms.
like a staircase of a home.
Goes straight up, and then it goes back, and then the third floor. So the third floor don't share. The third floor of Maddie's bedroom is the ceiling, part of the ceiling of
Part of it of Dylan's room.
Dylan Mortensen, right?
And then I think part of Dylan's floor may be the bedroom down below,
Let's see.
but not the whole floor.
Yeah,
Dylan's entire bedroom floor, because then there's the family room, and
I think
and
it
that's where
actually. I think Dylan's is where it cuts off.
it maybe
because
cuts off completely.
She actually above her is
No,
the bathroom.
they're
and
still at
Madison's
lunch. I
room.
keep checking. The Kelsey
And
Fitzsimmons
right
child's still at
below is
lunch.
Nothing, just dirt, I think. But
Which,
she could hear a
again,
lot.
They're still
too,
at
I'm sure.
lunch.
Out of curiosity, it's interesting, but also it's critical for the facts of the case. So
Yes.
eventually, and
No, I would like to know Gray's
we get to a
media
point
handle,
where
if anybody
the
can tell
facts of
me.
the case are being litigated.
Maybe
because
she'll
he's
announce it
caught
again.
somebody and he's in court and he's up on a murder charge or he's up on a kidnapping charge, whatever it's going to be, whatever this crime ends up resolving itself as. And it's very sad to see Savannah looking for the final place of rest. It feels like the family has come to terms
Yeah.
with maybe having lost their mother. But at some point, if we are litigating these, what you're showing me is going to matter. It's going to matter because they're going to need to know the facts, how you got in, how you perpetrated your crime,
Yep.
why the blood pattern is the way it is.
Yep.
And again, I've got my sources saying there's blood specks inside, droplets exactly the same as the pattern outside, straight up and down, no sign of struggle,
Yeah.
no footprints in the blood.
So moving really slowly, however she got out, but whatever it is, it's slowly. That because there's no angle to the drops, right?
Yeah,
So-
or being carried.
Yeah, it can be carried, right? So, but slowly though, because if you're going quick, it comes in at an
Right.
angle. So
Yeah.
it's just really slow.
You're
moving it
welcome.
out.
Well,
You're
I
welcome.
would say if you are carrying 150 pounds
Beast.
over your shoulder,
I got your text. You're
you're moving
welcome.
slow.
Yeah, that's how
that's
you
not a
have
quick
it.
step.
Over the shoulder. I don't have that one, but
You
yeah,
don't, that's
I
not
did-
your theory that she's
well,
being taken out over the shoulder, and that's
I
why the
have a-
drops are behind him as
Well-
he's walking. He's not walking in the drops because the drops are falling behind him.
well, I mean, a lot of people are saying have that theory. Mine is just like at gunpoint. They're just and I know you said that like going through the door would be a problem, but like you're walking, and she's just kind of like she had a bloody nose, so blood got in her throat, and then she kind of bends over and coughs, and then it gets on the ground there, and then it keeps
But how is she
dripping.
not?
I believe
walking
it's
through her
I
own
believe it's
blood? How is
head
she
and not
walking
nose.
through?
Well, because he's walking to her off to her side, and then to walk in your own blood, it's almost impossible, right? Because you're dripping down, it hits your foot, and then you step forward onto clean ground, and the only blood that you're seeing is stuff that missed your feet and hit the ground. So there's little droplets over in different places. You get what I'm saying? So
I
you're
don't know.
not going to
I
step
do,
on your
but
own.
but I think you eventually would step on your own. And
Okay, let me explain what he's talking about because I didn't think about it this way. Let me draw a picture. So you know the blood drops on the top. I mean on the steps, right? And we kept looking at the blood drops themselves, trying to figure out gray hues. Thank you. So what he is saying is if you have the shoe here and there's blood coming down, that those drops were around perhaps the shoe print. Maybe this is Nancy's shoe and they're all around. We were looking at the blood spot patterns, but we haven't looked at what outline the blood spots make. That's an interesting thought. I'll go back and look at that one.
I don't think he can go through a door with her on his left. If his gun is on the right and he's got his holster, he's got the gun holstered so that it would be a right-handed grab. So he's right-handed and he's walking her on his left because the blood is more to the left outside the door if you're walking out the front door. And he's got his gun across his body to her and they're walking through the door together.
Yeah,
He'd have to be walking behind her and he'd walk through it.
Yeah, or just kind of like let her go through and then goes off to the side. I mean, I don't, that's the thing is it's hard. We were showing pictures of firemen carry and your head's a lot higher off the ground than the 8 to 24 inches you'd have to be to make that concentrated cough pattern. So, I guess that's something that'll be interesting.
Unless he accidentally dropped her at that point and that happened, and then up she went again. But I think there'd be a lot more blood in that spot. I think there'd be more blood in that area. But the blood definitely goes down the front walk. And I keep coming back to why would anybody walk a live person out? What do they want with her? What do they want with her outside that house?
Yeah, and that's where
if they wanted something in the house, they would have went and got something out of the house.
I think it was maybe
and left.
Assault.
They took her though,
assault,
and there's not been any more ransom.
Think of it; it's horrible, but investigators got to go through every scenario, and these are real. They do happen. You might think that's impossible. 84-year-old woman happens a lot. It happens more than you know. These are vulnerable victims that don't fight back.
People should just go look it up. There are many cases. It's not even rare, to be honest with you.
It's a thing.
It's a real thing.
And I think you and I talked on your podcast about the statistic that 92% of offenders of geriatric rape are actually in their 20s.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. It's crazy. I mean,
that's wild.
Like a few years ago, it was weird. There was a case, I can't remember exactly where it was, but there was like a 75-year-old woman who was married to a 90-year-old, and the husband had died, but she was a stepmom. And then everybody assumed when she ended up being killed, they thought it was one of the family members right away because it's like, hey, you got this stepmom. She's going to live a lot longer. We want our payout now, our inheritance. So that's what you would think.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a guy across the street that was like 25 years old, sexual assault, and killed her. I mean,
I don't feel like this is sexually driven at all.
Guy, and he just went across the street and did that.
At all.
And it was just almost, at the time.
That's totally out for me.
I was sort of new to finding these type of cases, but.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the possibility.
Because they wouldn't have took her.
That fact that the back doors were often left open. It does sort of make you wonder if somebody regularly saw the pattern that the doors aren't locked. If somebody knew, I mean, look, you can hopscotch your way down a neighborhood and find out what doors are locked or not. But I don't think that's where we are. If we're to understand that there could possibly have been some casing of the place, and if we know now you know, those floodlights were knocked out. Let's make it dark and let's make it easy to go in those back doors. It does sort of give you an idea that this perpetrator may have
Excuse
known
me.
from watching that back. And you can't
Just
just
on the mic one, too.
scope from the street and see the back. You have to be in that backyard. You have to
Right.
be in that pool area to see that.
It's interesting.
I forgot to turn my other mic off, so you still
they
heard
said
me
they had
coughing.
Other motions detected, maybe some thumbnail images. I wonder if they're just not telling us that they have other times where a camera picks somebody up jumping over, you know?
And don't you think they would show us by now so you could see even more about this
Nobody
Yeah.
jumped that
offender's
fence. I'm
gait
telling
and
you.
the way he moves and the
I
way
don't
he
believe
jumps or
that.
the way he bends. I mean, we've got a little bit, very little to go on. I'm also really shocked as to why nobody would bother spreading the information far and wide that January 11th might be significant. So please, let's start talking about January 11th, folks, all around Tucson.
And the
Not just the
24th.
neighborhood, but do you
January the
have a
11th and the
boyfriend
24th.
or a son on January 11th that did some weird things, vanished for the night, was acting strange on January 12th. Like, why wouldn't you just get that out there? Why would you keep it so close
as quick
to the
as
vest?
possible, because later on people are like, I don't even remember January 11th. You know, if you did it
Yeah.
January 28th,
That's
or,
true.
you know, they might go, oh yeah, or you know, you mentioned it
Well,
like
after Feb
yeah,
1, but
February 1st,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
you
and
mentioned
I
it,
think
like,
we would have had to,
early,
and I'll
know?
be honest with you, it's got to be after Feb 8. I think we've got the FBI images 8 days later, didn't we? Was it February 8th? I think somewhere around there.
So that's
I'm
kind of
losing
late,
count.
regardless. You know, you're already a month later, basically, even
But-
after that. But it's still
But
sooner.
you're not halfway through March. You're not three quarters
Yeah.
of the way through March, you know. But I do think, like, I was looking up how the possibility of unlocked back doors changes the way investigators might attack this case.
Hallelujah.
And I got this. It says an unlocked rear door will usually push an investigator towards opportunity narrative. An offender exploiting a routine vulnerability rather than executing a sophisticated high skill breach. That in turn affects how they think about offender selection. More
No,
likely
I've not heard
someone
that,
local
Firebird.
or observant who noticed the pattern of unlocked doors, not necessarily someone with specialized tools or inside access, and that this actually has an impact.
Over on TikTok, today's live goal, which you guys have already reached one time. We're doing this as a second one, is 10 corgi corgs. If you can, please send one to support the platform and what I do here. Tapping is clapping, and all of those things are free to do. Following me, if you're in here, we have 87 whole entire souls on the TikTok side.
Impact on solvability and leads. I just thought it was really interesting how just something as simple as a fact that the family provided to investigators that mom would frequently leave her back doors unlocked might actually motivate some or many investigators to look at this a different way.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't know. I was just kind of trying to visualize a person. You know, if it's more, that makes it more random opportunity. Because that's what you were just saying, right? More of an opportunity.
The neighbor
Because you
was?
saw it, because you saw a pattern of vulnerability.
Mhm.
Let's just say, and I'm not going to cast aspersions here, but let's just say there was some guy working as a landscaper, as a pool maintenance guy, as a
Oh, God.
window
I hope you told authorities
fitter,
about that,
someone who's working
Firebird.
on the air conditioning unit, whatever it is, and has access to that back patio. And while he's in the back patio, he just reaches out and tries the door handle. That's an opportunity that you could exploit, and you could make it look innocent if you're caught doing it.
And so, like, removing the camera at the front door, knowing you're going to have a car parked there, is all part of you're exploiting, because you already knew that the doors were unlocked, right? So you were going to get her out the front door later. It wasn't just that night, right? That's not what you're saying. Like, he didn't go like walk around that night and go, "Oh, this door's unlocked," right? 'Cause
I
it
don't-
was
yeah, I
2:30
don't
No,
in the
I don't
morning.
think so. No.
I
Yeah.
think
He
that's
just
just
planned
a
on where he
theory,
could go
but
in.
I think he was part of a crew at some point that knew something about that house, whether he was a crew nearby and saw this vulnerable old woman and thought, I'm going to check that out one night. I see
Possible.
she's there a lot, getting her mail, whatever it is. And she's moves slowly. So I know this is an easy target who
Mhm.
doesn't fight back easily, right? So then he's got his eye on it, whether he was in the backyard himself doing work or whether he was down the
Yep.
street doing work, something or other. So then he goes back another night and decides to take out the floodlights, right? whether
Yeah.
it's the night of the attack.
Interesting.
Or not,
Interesting,
don't know. But he takes
Firebird.
out the floodlights and then makes the plan. I'm going to go in the back.
Mm-hmm.
The floodlights are no longer there, so it's not going to trigger a camera and, whatever. And she's not going to wake up with the back windows. He may have actually worked in the yard, so he knows exactly where the bedroom windows are,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
No, it's interesting.
he's already assessed whether those back doors are open, and he
Yeah.
knows that I can get that car around the front once I've dismantled that front camera, and the car will never be caught on camera, and I'll pull her out the front, either over my shoulder or how. I think if you're going to walk her, you could walk her anywhere. I think if you need to carry, you need the path of least resistance, and that's the front door.
Front door.
To that
N-
driveway. It's
Ashley, you're
just-
my damn hero. Being you think
Yeah,
just
you know,
like
can you
Ashley
say-
Banfield.
Let's look at this and just picture it. then,
It's
right?
like we're
So
twinsy
this is
brains.
likely the door that he came in, right? I mean, this is the one, the only door in the back, the one that was wide open. It was the back door. So that means he would
Yeah.
come in and just turn to the right.
I agree,
off
bless mama.
camera. We don't get to see him because there's likely a hallway there, and that leads right to her room. So he's really close to her room, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking about, you're.
They
but he
have to be
comes
smaller
in basically
bedrooms, though.
Enter right there.
here, and then her room is right here. So there's probably a little
One.
hallway or something right
Where are
there
the-
where you walk in,
doorway.
go
Where
to
are the
that
other
room,
four
and then
bedrooms?
go to her room
There's
right
no
here,
room.
probably.
There would be a doorway to that room, presumably
Yeah.
because we don't have the floor plan for
Just
that.
it's just a guess.
But then also, Gray, on the left-hand side of the picture you're looking at, I wondered if there wasn't something in that corner, right? The pool corner of the house. There's nothing. There is a pathway that leads from the pool. You can see that little sidewalk that leads from the
Yeah.
pool
Yeah.
to the tree. And I thought, well, maybe there's a window or a sliding glass door.
There's a
there. So wouldn't
path.
it be nice to have a
What is
sliding glass
that?
door going out to the pool. There is not. There is a window, and the window goes really close to the edge of the house, and then there's just edge of house. And I think that pathway just goes along the edge of the house, or it goes to maybe some equipment, but it doesn't go to a
No
lovely
door.
little nook or a patio or a
Mhm.
sliding door into that bedroom.
I thought there was
I
another,
wondered
isn't
about
there
that
another
little-
window right here too?
There is.
And here, right? I'm not sure.
Yes,
what
and that's
that
what I
is.
was. Maybe a
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Maybe a bathroom, a Jack and Jill between those two bedrooms. Don't know.
Three.
As far as this,
Three, mama.
let's measure that. real
Three
quick.
windows back there.
I mean,
think.
listen, houses built in the 60s and 70s had small bedrooms,
That's 32 feet. So there you can do quite a bit in there.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
32
feet.
feet.
I mean, 10 feet's a bedroom. You could actually probably put two rooms almost like one, if you
Yeah.
went in, I don't know, maybe, well, I guess there's a little bit of you come in here.
A hallway.
and
If
then you
there's a little
turn
bit of a
right.
hallway there.
Yeah. So it might be like a hallway. And then her room ends right there. So whatever is in here, it could have, maybe two people live in the same room, right? It's a
It's hard
pretty
to
big
tell.
house though, 3,200 square feet for one floor,
And then we don't know if it was completely renovated to knock down walls and have just a very large master bedroom. Who knows at this point? She's living by herself,
Right.
but I do really suspect that whoever did this had a plan and planned all along to do his deed, whatever his deed was, and take her out the front to a car that was waiting, but not a car that was waiting before he immobilized her, went back outside, and went up that front entrance and did his business with the front camera to make sure that then he could bring her out the front door without that camera catching him, her, and the car that was waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of this? I had she's a genealogist, but a really sharp mind. Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick, she came on and we kind of went through and she was like, had a theory, but then what I was talking about kind of convinced her of a certain, the way I was thinking about it. But then, the walkie-talkie thing, let's just pretend that that's a walkie-talkie. Wouldn't it work great if he goes up, like I said before, he removes the camera at 147, then goes back to maybe a car or something where there's another person even. And they just wait for 20 minutes to see if anybody shows up because he knows he set off the motion sensor, right? Then after 20 minutes or so, he goes back to the house. Then without the car, he goes into the house. And when he's about ready, he goes, "Hey, pull the car up." Then the guy pulls up, parks, then he takes her out. And it's just one guy that goes into the house, but another person that's helping drive and load her into the car. Kind of made some sense, I mean,
makes
you can have
sense
a million
except for
different theories.
Two guys stealing an old woman.
Yeah. I mean, I just think there's one person, but
I do.
It made some
I think
sense,
there's
her
one.
theory, like, because you wouldn't want, her theory was that you wouldn't want a car sitting there for even 12 or 13 minutes. You just want it there just as you're
Yeah.
removing,
Okay.
so it kind of made sense, but
I
my
think
theory is
he-
one.
Stop and hold the phone. Let's think about this. Okay. So they're saying you wouldn't have a car waiting there. You would just have it pull up just in enough time. So I would say the things that they need to look for is tower calls, tower pings. I don't know how that stuff works. But if he made a phone call, hey, I got her, pull the car around. They can be able to trace it that way. The other thing is if they parked their car or if somebody was waiting in the car, waiting to pull up and get them, and they're parked down the street, we need to be looking for camera footage not around Nancy's house. We need all the camera footage going all the way down the damn street and neighborhood out to the town. Because if they had to have a car. They didn't hold hands and walk down the street with her. They had to put her in a car. Where's the car?
He immobilized her and then brought the car around and then did his business with the camera, then brought the car around so that the camera would never catch the car in the front when he's walking her out that front door, down the path. And
Wendy, thank you for sending that corgi cord.
What I don't
Thank you.
understand is a disconnected 147 and an image of a person caught at 212. That part I just keep struggling with, other than if at 147 you disconnected the camera, but it was still active in your hand, right? You smashed it off its bracket, whatever you did to finally get it off that bracket, it's still active. And so maybe you threw it in your car and it captured an image.
I mean, the way they worded it was the doorbell camera was disconnected. So my theory is that 147, that one was out of play. That one is, he took it off
the front,
whatever it was. It's
first
disconnected from the network. It's never part of the case again. Then at 212, when he finally was about to go into the house after doing the waiting and so forth, that's when he was picked up on that back camera. There was motion that picked him up, and it was a person. And then again, the sheriff said, but it could have been an animal. So that means it's an outdoor camera because there's not a cougar running around inside the home.
That's a good point.
Right. So it could have been the camera picks him up.
Yes.
212.
Right,
and
Teresa.
that's around the time that he goes in, then he immobilizes her, like you said. And then maybe he goes and gets the car, pulls it up, and then takes off.
Yeah.
In your theory, that part.
No,
right, Mama.
Everybody across the country are going to really
right, Mama. Listen, this is such a good comment over here. Wait. This car is over on YouTube, but listen, Mama Kentucky said, or a car that was waiting at a storage gas station nearby. Bingo.
So transfixed by this case, because every theory is possible until you hit something.
Yeah.
And most
did they, Teresa? I didn't see that. Can you see that in pictures?
Some theories do, but you still wonder who could do such a thing. So there's so many that I think that's why we're all just sort of stumped and mystified. And sadly, I believe that I think that the officers working on the case, the agents are stumped as well.
I don't think there's any theory that's clean. That they can come up and go that there isn't just some element that points a different way. It's there isn't any. And it's just sort of.
I know that's what's so confusing about it.
That's the part that's really frustrating. We don't have enough information to be absolutely 100% like we are in other cases. Sometimes you're just like, it, right?
Teresa says it's a stun gun and not a walkie-talkie.
Put together the facts that you have, but if you notice, there's a lot of people that have theories that work pretty well. There's some way out there, but there's like 2 or 3 theories that are just as likely as the other, but they're different. They're so different from each other. So that's where it gets frustrating, because I want to pick the one that I really feel is 100% what happened, and I haven't been able to do it.
And I always come back to anybody watching, if you know this person, things were weird. Things were weird the 1st of February and the 2nd and the 3rd. Things were off. Maybe you noticed something January 11th, which is a Sunday night, maybe January 24th, which was a Saturday night. These are all words that have been bandied about with investigators to the neighbors. If something was off with your ex-boyfriend or your son or a colleague at work. So 1-800-FBI is the number to call, because I think the tips have slowed and I think the leads have slowed, and it's time for people to pay attention once again to their memories, just like Savannah asked us to do. Gray Hughes, thank you. I'm just so appreciative that I always say this about you. You pay attention to detail. You map it out, you think it out, and then you discuss it. You don't do the opposite. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me to help me sort of sort through it.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ashley Banfield.
So there you have it. Just a really fascinating.
Okay, so there is Ashley Banfield's show. What are you guys thinking? Excuse me. We got to see me for the first time. I'm sure other people have seen them, but me for the first time, pictures of inside the house, which made it more clear to me. And to think about what kind of paths, because it's important to know the path that he may have been able to take to get in there and get her and get out. Even if, let's think about this, are there then 3 people involved? Are they then 3 people involved? Because think about this. If it took 2 of them to carry her out, there had to have been a 3rd one in the car waiting. Now, I don't know if there really actually was 3 or 2, at least 1. If only 1 went in there, the guy that we see on the camera, and forced her to walk out, that could explain the blood drops of her bending over like this. This is why he's talking about a possible nosebleed. I wish DK. I sure do wish so. It looks like it's Alaska something. I wish it was. Bless Mama says, if he was going to rob someone, the book bag would not have been full. Right. It would have been empty so that he could put into the book bag what he felt had been missing or that he needed from the house. And also, if it was robbery based or a targeted needed something specific inside the house, something would be missing. Don't you think investigators would be at least telling us something's missing from the house? If you see this in pawn shops, if you see this, let us know right away. So I don't feel like it was a burglary. I don't feel like that. I feel, honestly, I totally feel she's not with us anymore. And I feel like people aren't getting, the FBI isn't getting tips. I mean, I should rephrase that to less tips. It's totally quiet. There's not been any more ransom notes because there's nobody to ransom anymore. Excuse me. Does that make sense? What we have to do as a society is keep looking. Somebody somewhere knows something. If you even look back to January 31st, February 1st, in the Tucson area, and your loved one was not there, period. weirdly overnight, or your family member, or you saw your neighbor leave at 1 a.m. ish. And you're like, that's weird. They never leave at 1 a.m. Tell somebody. It's going to come down to somebody talking. Because if it was down to being able to track this digitally, even the ransom notes, how many times on the earth have you ever heard of the FBI not being able to transfer ransom notes? Not being able to track ransom notes, rather. None. The answer is probably none. I've never heard this. This is like watching Catch Me If You Can. To me, this is modern day Catch Me If You Can. And the star is not Leonardo. It's the kidnapper. Melissa says they aren't. They are. They just aren't telling the public that. I feel like if they were to track that, it would have been already tracked. Does that make sense? I feel like they can't do it. I feel like it's untraceable, which makes the kidnapper smarter than the FBI. Mm-hmm. Targeted, definitely. All right. We reached 83,000 likes today, so I want to thank you. Thank you to everybody who come over to YouTube to watch with us the latest information on Nancy Guthrie. We were going to watch the Kelsey Fitz Simmons trial, but they happened to go to lunch right when we sit down, so we totally missed that. But make sure you watch that and decide if she is deserving of the sentence, or does she just need to be let go and to start over with her children? Joe says, case flubbed from the beginning, making this investigation difficult. I agree. The next time I'm live is tomorrow at noon, probably everywhere. I might as well. It's no extra trouble, really. Everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, here. Maybe I'll also go live on Epic. Nope. I was just looking. They're still at lunch. That's the longest lunch I have ever seen. It's still just a picture of carpet. They didn't even give us the courtesy of showing us the ceiling fan.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Okay. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. Follow me on every social media platform. All you have to do is look for the same username and logo. Follow me everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, X, Insta, Epic Studios, and all of those things. Okay. Make sure you're giving me a follow. I appreciate you guys and everything that you do for me every single day. I am very, very grateful. You keep me going. You keep me going just to stay and see another day. Be kind to one another.